Thanks so much for making our tails wag by watching this guest interview from Arden Moore's Four-Legged Life.
Welcome back to Arden Moore's Four-Legged Life Show. I'm your host, Arden Moore. Now, our next guest truly has mighty strong typing fingers and a wonderful wit. She has authored, are you ready for this? You sitting down? More than almost 200 books. 200. Like Move Over, Stephen King. Her two favorite topics are cats and God, not necessarily in that order, or as she puts it, from the divine to the feline. So please welcome to our show the award-winning author, Allia Zobel Nolan. Hey, Allia, welcome to the show.
Oh boy, with an opening like that, I don't know if I can live up to all that.
200, girl.
Well, really, I did a lot of work for Reader's Digest Children's Publishing, and the books were children's books, so maybe there were 10 spreads, so it wasn't like I was doing.
I mean, I think I'm doing pretty good writing 27 dog and cat books, but you smoked me.
Well, I figured it's something that I like to do, and my husband keeps telling me to retire, but how can I retire? There's no way.
You're just getting better, like fine wine. And, everyone, as we usher in 2023, this is no news of any surprise. Allia has a new book. What are we surprised about? Of course she does. And get ready for it. I love the title. It is called Heavenly Head Butts, Reflections of Hope About Cats in Eternity. Now, I don't want to have to get the tissues out. And I do want to let you talk a little bit about sort of the inspiration. There's 3 purrs that are up in heaven, I think, that help inspire you for heavenly headbutts. Is that right, Allia?
Well, they did, but I've had maybe 10 cats during my whole life, many who are buried outside in the front lawn. Don't tell anybody.
It's our secret. Nobody, just coast to coast listeners, mum's the word.
Okay. So, I have been wanting to write this book for a very long time because we all go through this. And when I go through it, it never gets any easier. It's the same thing. It's like someone gut punched you.
That's a good, I know what you mean. That's a good way of describing it.
I remember when I was dating my husband and I lost my cat Scruffy. And I love this cat like you love them all. And I remember my husband-to-be had never seen me distraught like that. And I was wearing glasses and no makeup and my eyes, and I kept on looking down at the floor because that's what happens. You just they're so used to seeing them around and feeling them around it. So I wanted to give a little bit of hope to people who are going through this, because I know we'll all go through it. It's not just a book for people who are grieving presently. It's a book for people, all cat lovers, and actually all pet lovers, because it opens up possibilities. When you
I think if we may say, you quote in your book, and it's beautifully illustrated, you say, someone anonymous, I always wanted to meet Mr. or Mrs. Anonymous, but you say, and I think it's perfect, heaven is where you'll meet all the cats you've ever loved. That says it, right? Short, sweet?
It's short and sweet. And, when these things happen, because we're in the cat community or animal community, people tend to send you cards and offer you condolences or whatever. But when that happened to me, absolutely nothing could help me or even get me out of my mood just for like 10 minutes. I would be grateful not to feel that horrible feeling for 10 minutes. So that's why I wrote this book, because there are a lot of books out there that have, signs from the, the hereafter or whatever. But I have had a feeling that when I looked at my cat, she inspired me to think about God, because I said, oh boy, look at how fantastically gorgeous and she's beautiful, and the whiskers and look at this. Anybody who, God made this creature so wonderful that he's not going to make something like that and then let it evaporate. There's no way.
I like that.
And I'm not saying that we're going to see them in the same form, because according to the Bible, we will be made and we are over in the new heaven and the new earth, and we will be in a different form.
Really?
So,
will I be taller?
if you want to be, I don't think there'll be any. It's going to be spirit. It's going to be. This is my own opinion, but
no, I'm
me,
kind of curious as a cat to learn about your
well,
insights
I'd like
on
to be
heaven.
thinner. I'd like to be thinner and taller, and I would like to have maybe some floppy ears and whiskers, if that's allowed. So to me, I wanted to look into the Bible and into other places, and I did a lot of research about heaven and animals.
And now you said doing this now. I'm not a student of the Bible. I was a Job's daughter. I don't know if that merits anything years ago, but I'm a spiritual person. But you said in your research there is no specific scripture about cats, correct?
Yes, that is definitely correct. And I searched, and I've been studying the Bible for a long time. I write Bible books for kids, but there are hints that God doesn't come out and say cats are going to be in heaven, or horses are going to be in heaven, or dogs are going to be in heaven,
or possum,
or possums, or even snakes. Although they were in the Garden of Eden.
Right.
So the thing is, he points to. There are places in the Bible that point to the fact that God is using animals in his plan. Okay. And if he didn't want animals to be around in the hereafter, he would not have said that everything was good. When he created the world, he created animals first, by the way, and then he created man. And then he looked around and he said, wow, this is good, okay? He didn't say the two-legged animals or creatures were good, but the four-legged animals were bad. He said everything is good. Okay, so he's not going to make something good and let it evaporate. Also, another hint was he destroyed the whole world. Okay, so why did he keep the animals? He could.
Are you talking when Noah did his little ark?
Noah and the ark. He could have just, in my book, I say he could have just taken 6 cats and left everybody else, left all the other animals. His wife could have said, "Bring 10 of them, but don't take the dogs."
Right.
So there's a proof, and there's a lot of stories about animals in the Bible that God is using them. There's a story about Balaam and a talking donkey. And yes, and
is that in the Old or New Testament?
That's in the Old Testament.
Okay.
And it's a story about this prophet Balaam, and God is trying to tell him not to do a certain thing. He was supposed to go and curse some people against the Israelites. Well, anyway, his donkey refuses to go any further because there's an angel standing in front. Okay, so he refuses to go. So the owner is beating him, and he turned around all of a sudden, and God let him talk, and he said, "What are you beating me for? I'm trying to save you here." He didn't say it in those words, but
right.
Interpreted. No, he actually spoke in English.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe it was.
I just made a donkey ass of myself. Sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So, and then God let Balaam see what was going on. That that there was an angel, and he had a big sword, and his donkey was trying to help him. Plus, there's another story in the Bible about.
Let's get to that story in a second. But everybody, we're speaking with the very prolific Allia Zobel Nolan, and she's got a new book out. I want you to get your paws on. It's called Heavenly Headbutts. So we're going to learn more after we take this break. So sit, purr. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Four-Legged Life Show. I'm your host, Arden Moore. We're talking with author Allia Zobel Nolan. She's award-winning. She's prolific. She's spiritual. She digs cats. And the book is called Heavenly Headbutts. And you had another story you wanted to share. Take it away, Allia.
Well, I was just trying to reference some of the ways that God used animals in the Bible.
Yeah.
But he also, I think, and I put this in my book, when you look, and I referenced this before, when you look at an animal, I was just looking at Miss Kitty, the dog, which
Well, wait a minute. Slow down, everybody. You got to know this lady has very creative names for her pets. And she has cats in her home, but she and her husband, Desmond, adopted a dog from the shelter a year ago, and you appropriately changed the name from Priscilla to
Miss Kitty, the dog.
Of course you did.
Well, you have to see people when we're out and we're calling her Kitty, here, Kitty, here, Kitty, and they look at us like we're crazy. But so I was looking at, in the morning I do some meditation, and Miss Kitty comes up and she sits next to me because I give her turkey, not because she loves me. And we sit there, and I looked over at her, and she's got these floppy ears and the nose, and it was just, I was just like, I'm so used to looking at cats.
Right.
So I'm looking at her, and she's beautiful, and the coloring.
What kind of mix is she? What does she have in her?
She is American foxhound.
Oh.
With really long ears that go flipping and flopping when she runs. It's like I never had a dog, so all of these things are like new to me. But
okay.
What I was trying to get at is, when you look at an animal like that you love and that loves you, you tend to think about God, because you think about the Creator who made all of these fantastic animals, and there's so many. So that's why I think that Heavenly Headbutts is going to help a lot of people, not only the grieving, but it's going to help everyone who has an animal, particularly cats, to start thinking about the possibility. Do
you have a copy of the book at all that you can show the cover?
Oh, yes, I do.
Come on, we got it for our YouTube buddies. Turn it a little bit more over this way. There you go. Everybody take a look. It's beautifully illustrated, and I love this book, and we got to move on to some other books that you've done. You have a husband you love, right, Desmond? Who
yes.
must have a sense of humor, right?
Yes, a tremendous sense of humor.
How long have you guys been together?
22 years.
Okay, so tell everybody why you wrote the latest book, a revised version called Why a Cat is Still Better Than a Man.
Well, to be really truthful, this book, when it first came out, sold over 150,000 copies. So things are pretty sparse around here these days. So I thought I would like to have sell some more copies of this book.
Okay.
Actually, I wanted. There's a new flock of people who are cat lovers now. That have never seen this book or know about this book. And it was really popular, and it's very funny, if I do say so myself.
Can you share a couple
clips
from it? Oh.
My favorite is, cats are not interested in cleavage unless it's big enough to sleep in.
Amen. Keeping us abreast. Continue.
Yes, a cat would never wear a pinky ring.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, I'm loving this.
Yes. And where is it now? A cat will wait and rub up against your legs no matter what time you come home.
Very good, very good.
Yes,
I mean, are you at the grocery store and you just get this zinger in your head and write it down? What do you do?
Well, I've always lived with cats. I've loved cats, and they're just really funny. I mean, everything they do. And I don't know, I just needed a comparison. And I've done a book called Why Must I Be a Cat? I mean, what is it called? There's so many of them, I forget what title is what. It's called I'd Rather Be a Cat.
Okay. And what's the argument? What's the argument for that, Allia?
Well, cats don't wear pinky rings, things like that. But cats are just so easy to write about, as in humor.
People on YouTube are looking at your background, and behind you is one of your biggest hits, Cat Confessions. Tell us about that.
Goodness. Cat Confessions, a kitty come clean tell-all book. It's about what cats do when you're not around.
All right.
They use your toothbrush. Actually, I saw my cat do that.
What?
It wasn't my toothbrush. It was my husband's. So,
Did you tell him? I'm afraid
no.
to ask what they did with that toothbrush.
Well, they went up against it and they were chewing on it because I think they like the peppermint.
They thought it was catnip, maybe?
Yeah, cats love peppermint. So,
what are some other cat confessions, would you think?
cat confessions. I can't think of any right now. There's so many of them. But
are cats sorry?
Cats are not usually, they don't hold a grudge. Okay. So that's one. They don't hold a grudge. I had a cat once. I opened up the refrigerator, and that was at the time when we had regular phones that rang off the wall. Yeah. And I opened up the refrigerator, went to talk on the phone. I came back, the refrigerator had closed, and I couldn't find my cat. And obviously, and I heard this, I opened up the door, the cat came out, spit at me, hissed at me, but half an hour later, she came for some treat. So they don't hold a grudge.
Actually, that's a good quality, don't you think?
Oh, yes, I do. I have to pill one of my cats now, and I have to do it surreptitiously because she knows that at what time I'm going to do it. So I have to do it when she's not, when she's not looking. And I just pick her up and I open her up and I throw it down her throat. And I thought when I first did this that she'd never speak to me again. But she gets on the bed, and I have an electronic bed that goes up, and she goes for a ride. I say to her, "You want to go for a ride?" She says, "Okay." And she sits on a pillow, and she goes all the way up. And
that's cool.
It. Yeah, she's but my other one, Nolan.
Where do you get these names for your cats? I'm trying to.
Nolan was a rescue, and when I went to the rescue, I wanted a black cat because black cats don't usually get adopted, and I always have.
That's true.
So I went there, and I didn't want a kitten. I wanted a full-blown cat. Anyway, on the way out, there was this itty-bitty little ball of fluff who was black, and underneath it said, "Name Nolan." So I had to get him. I called my husband. I said, "We have a relative here. We have to adopt him." I said, "Come down and see him." And he said, "You'll get him anyway, so just bring him home." So we call him Nolan.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. How do people find out about you? What's the best way to find out more? Your website? How do we get our paws on some of your books, Allia?
My website is very simple. www.Allia Writes. And Allia is spelled Allia, and the word writes. So it couldn't be easier. Mostly all of my books are on Amazon. And this new book, Heavenly Headbutts, I would really, really love for people to pick it up. And not just people who are grieving, but people who believe or want to believe of the possibility of seeing their cats in heaven. And this just came out on Amazon. And
I love that.
It took a long time to get this book out because I started it during the pandemic, and everything was so sad I couldn't continue. But I did it last year, and I think it will help a lot of people.
We just have a few seconds left. Finish this sentence. Most people don't know that Allia Zobel Nolan
loves dogs.
Okay, good. That's a good surprise. All right. You love Miss Kitty. You have always championed cats. I want everyone to please check out her books. They're for kids, cat lovers, people who understand the power of spirituality. I really feel like I'm in heaven having you on the show, Allia.
Oh, jeepers. Thank you so much.
Jeepers. I never got a jeepers. All right.
Jeepers.
I don't know where the time went. It goes by so fast. But that's it for our show today, everyone. I want to give, of course, pause up to our special guest, Allia Zobel Nolan, and earlier, Dr. Montreal Contreras. And thank you to our sponsor, Tevra Brands. Their products make pets happy and healthy. you can go to their website. It's tevrapet.com. That's TEVRA pet.com. If you include Arden23 at checkout, you're going to get a special treat from them for you and your pet. So check it out. I want to thank all you pet pals who are tuning in and all you radio stations coast to coast for airing our show. Hey, big favor. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's easy. It's Arden Moore. My name, please. We'd love that. And I really thank you all. And until next time, this is Arden Moore saying to all you 2, 3, and 4-leggers out there, paws up. Paws up, pet pals. Thanks for watching. If you liked my video, please hit the like button. Also, subscribe to my channel. I want to keep providing you with great guests, special first aid tips, and yes, more videos of these guys. See you next time. Paws up!